All right, you guys, these two pictures display some vocab words that we've learned. Okay, raise your hand if you know either one of them. Either one of them. You can tell me what vocab words they represent. Ginger.
The first one is the complement rule.
Yes. Okay. So we've got A, and notice the shaded region is not A. Okay. Which is this AC right here? That's the complement. Okay. If it is not in A, then it's AC. That represents complement. Okay. Somebody different? Anyone know the vocab word for this next one? Usually when you guys see Venn diagrams, they overlap each other. It's a little hint. Michaela, what do you think? Yes. So this second one represents mutually exclusive events. There's no overlap. You just add the probabilities together in that case. You don't have to subtract out the overlap. Okay. Okay. Now we've got Venn diagrams. Okay. Where they overlap each other. And so you guys did do this in Algebra 2, very end of the year in Algebra 2. Not sure if you remember, but right here where they overlap each other, this represents intersection. And this is when we do the mutually exclusive stuff or the not mutually exclusive, because these are not, we would subtract out the overlap, okay? So intersection, you guys, when you write this down, you need to know that it's A intersect B. So this symbol that's like an upside down U represents the intersection. We also sometimes call this and, okay, when it's combined. Anyone remember the name of this one when we shade the whole thing and we find what's in both? Kyle? It is union. Okay? And so this is the probability of A union B. So this represents more of the or, right, where we're adding it together. But if I add all of A and I add all of B, I have to subtract out the middle, just like we did yesterday, because you double count it, okay? So let's look at an example. Did you guys all get that written down? Give me go back. Doing good. Okay. So back to our pierced ears example. In the preceding example, we looked at data from a survey on gender and ear piercings from a large group of college students. The chance process came from selecting a student in the class at random. Our events of interest were A, so event A is defined as is male, okay? And B is defined as has pierced ears. So here's our two-way table again. How would we construct a Venn diagram that displays the information in the two-way table? Okay, so our circles represent the gender, okay? So I'm going to label my circles male and female. And we want to fill in as many numbers as we can. Anyone know what goes in the middle of the Venn diagrams? What number? Oh, and what do you think? Yeah, right here. So remember, event A is talking about we've got a male. Event B is talking about has pierced ears. If they overlap, that's the middle. So we have to remember what we defined our A and B as. It's got to be both, right? So remember, A is male, B is has pierced ears. So the overlap means male and pierced ears. Yeah. So 19 is going to go in the middle. Okay, we have 19 who are both male and has pierced ears. Yes, we have a male and female circle, but because of our events that we defined, okay, so we have 19 that are male and have pierced ears. So if I have 19 who are male and have pierced ears, We also have our males that don't have pierced ears right here. Anyone know what goes inside the circle but not in the overlap? 71, okay? And then we have our females that do not have, well, actually these have pierced ears. These could be either one. Okay, so these would be 84, okay, are females that have pierced ears. I know, I'm kind of confused, And our 4 goes here. Our 4 goes here because of our no. Totally sorry, okay? This makes way more sense. So we have 19 males who have pierced ears. We have 84 females with pierced ears. So what do you guys want to put in here? But that is this whole thing. It's in here. 84 plus 19. No. Yeah, which is the rest. Okay, we got this. All right. And 4, you guys, are no's out here, but they're also not male. Okay, so that's our females that don't have pierced ears. I think we got this. Let's try this. Oh, Venn diagrams. Okay. So the first one, you guys, let's get our symbols right. We've got A intersect B. Okay, A intersect B. And again, A is male and B is pierced ears. Okay, so that's really our male and our pierced ears combined. All I want is a count on this. Okay, just a count. So that number is 19. Okay. All right, now we want A and intersect B complement. So what does that mean? So A is our males, and our B is our pierced ears, but if it's complement, then it's not pierced ears, right? So males, not pierced ears. So that would be a count of 71. Okay. And what if we do AC intersect B? Okay, so AC means not male, intersect with pierced ears. If we're not male, right, and have pierced ears, what number is that? 84. That was what was confusing us earlier. Okay. And what if they're both complement? So not male and not pierced ears. What number goes there? 4. All right. I think we got this. Let's see. Either way, we still have our general addition rule, the same as yesterday, but it's going to look like this on the AP test because now we learned union and intersect, okay? So again, this one means union, which is our or, which means we're adding our probabilities, okay? And this one means intersect, where we subtract out what we double counted. So when you use this formula on your sheet, same thing we did before. Let's see if we can figure this one out. All right. Who reads the paper? In an apartment complex, 40% of residents read USA Today. Only 25% read the New York Times. 5% read both. Suppose we select a resident of the apartment complex at random and record which of the 2 papers the person reads. Make a two-way table that displays the sample space of this chance process. So this is a two-way table similar to when we did our hearts and all those. We made you do one of those yesterday. So I want to see if you guys can do this two-way table. This time we've got USA Today and New York Times. Okay. So we're going to put USA Today on the top and New York Times on the side, and we're going to use those percentages. I'll move this down so you can all see that. And I want you guys to try it and see what you can. All right, so it says 40% of residents read USA Today. So David, where'd you put the 40%? David S. you put your 40% here? What do you guys think? That's what you put? You put 40% read USA Today, so that means the other ones don't. Isn't there overlap, you guys? Right? So you guys have 5% here, right? Everybody good?
That's what I thought.
40% read USA Today. Some of that is the overlap. Okay? So 40% goes down here.
The math wouldn't work out.
Oh, watch. It will. It will.
I
It
think
will.
I did it right.
I thought it was like 40 that read, 5 that did, and then 25, and then the 30%.
Nope. The 5%, you guys, is they read both, right? 5% is both, right? It's yes and yes. Your total USA Today is 40%. You can't make it 45%. Yeah, it's not saying only. 40% read USA Today. Okay? And 25% read New York Times. That's your total over here. Okay? 25% read New York Times. We also know 100% goes here. Okay. So if 5% read New York Times, then Charlie, what's my no going to be right here? Okay. And Kyle, if 25% is my total for my New York Times, what's the no going to be? 20%. Okay. And for USA Today, we have 40% that read it, which means 60% don't read it. And New York Times, if 25% read it, 75% don't read it. So subtract in either direction, and we get a 40% in the middle. Okay? So you have to always assume, you guys, this is the overlap, and these are your totals they're giving you. Okay? Now we're going to do a Venn diagram. So let's see if you guys can do a Venn diagram. Your two circles, if we can get our circles right. Let's see if I can do it. Represent the two newspapers. Okay. And we always have a box around it because some people, don't read either. All right. Taylor, what'd you put for your overlap? Okay, this is our 5% that read both. Okay, and Adem, what'd you put for New York Times inside this circle but not in the overlap? Yes, good. So this is 20, so that way our total is that 25%. Okay, and Cece, what'd you put for USA Today? Good, that way our total is the 40%. All right, now we have all the newspaper readers here. We have to add to 100, or you can look up here for your no, right? Nobody reads it. So Tyler, what goes in your box but outside your circles? Yep, so there's our 40% that doesn't read either newspaper. Make sense? Okay, so now let's do part C. Find the probability that the person reads at least one of the two papers. Now, some of you guys can just do this in your head, but we need to show work. So if you're reading at least one, what are we shading in our Venn diagram? Donovan, if I'm reading at least one or more, what should be shaded in this? Yeah, what does at least one paper mean? Yeah, it's and the 5, right? If you read at least one, you read this, or both, okay? So that actually looks like this. We want to write this as the probability of reading USA Today and the union sign, New York Times. So at least one means this, or or both. Okay. So we're going to take the probability of reading USA Today, which is what? What's the probability of reading USA Today? 40%. Okay, good. Plus, what's the probability of reading New York Times? 25%. And we have to subtract the overlap. So what's that? 0.05. So we end up getting our 60% or 0.60, either way. Percents would be fine, okay? Another thing, you guys, you can do this, or you can say A union B if you define your events, okay? However you want to do it. All right, and D, find the probability that the person doesn't read either paper. What this looks like, you guys, if I define my events as, let's say this is A and this is B, this would be a complement, doesn't read USA Today, and doesn't read New York Times. Well, instead of adding them up, we could just do 1 minus this 60%. So we get our 40%. Okay, doesn't read New York Times, doesn't read USA Today. Yep. You can. Yep, that would be fine. Cool. Let's see. So yeah, sometimes you have simple calculations, you guys. Just make sure you're showing, like, even with that general addition rule, where you could look at the Venn diagram pretty easily. I want you to make sure you show work. You lose points if you just put a decimal answer on anything. So that's